In an interview with Business Insider, McMaster comments about how low-budget device manufacturers like Xiaomi and Micromax will diminish Tier 1 companies' market share, such as Samsung's, over the next 3 to 5 years. He even goes as far to say, and I quote, "The Tier 1 OEMs like Samsung are going to be the next generation's Nokias in the next 5 years. They're going to get slaughtered. We think long-term, Apple itself will have problems because they're just not good at competing at the low end." Whoa, let's unpack that for a moment. Apple doesn't want to compete at the low end. They don't have to compete at the low end. They spent 3 decades and billions of dollars building a brand that is premium. I mean, I can't even buy a power cord for my MacBook Pro for less than $150 because they're a premium quality brand. At least that's what they want consumers to believe. So, if they did want to compete at the low end with the Micromaxes and Xiaomis of the world, they would want to create a totally new brand. Not under the Apple or iPhone brand, but something completely different. That's been done very successfully in the car market, for example. Toyota wanted to compete with Mercedes-Benz and BMW, but they didn't create a premium high-quality Toyota Corolla. No, they created the Lexus brand, and were very, very successful at it. Now, when it comes to Samsung, well, that's a totally different story, because Samsung's trying to be all things to all people. I mean, what does Samsung really stand for? They have flagship power phones, entry-level phones, a mix of mid-tier phones and devices. You can't be all things to all people because you're not top of mind in any one market or segment. And so that leaves them vulnerable to companies that do want to become first on the mind in one particular segment. So if Xiaomi, for example, wants to become the best entry-level brand out there, like, for example, what's the best entry-level, affordable, cheap supermarket out there? It's Walmart. Everyone knows that. I mean, everyone on the planet knows that. But what is Samsung known for? Well, we don't really know because they throw the kitchen sink at us all the time. Now imagine for a moment if a manufacturer like OnePlus came out with an intense campaign that said, "Hey, we're the brand for flagship power without the flagship price." Not a bad slogan. And it's not like we haven't seen a reversal of fortune in a very short period of time. McMaster points this out. It could get pretty bad pretty damn quick. This is often the case. Look at what happened to Research in Motion. Look at what happened to Nokia. Last summer, Micromax surpassed Samsung as the dominant feature phone player in India. We're talking literally in 8 months this occurred. This is just one market. We'll see this happen all over the world. Cyanogen has worked hard over the past few years to break into the mainstream smartphone business by offering smooth software that is able to run on budget-friendly hardware. And because of Cyanogen's success with the OnePlus One, McMaster's opinions on a global market share are certainly worth something. Though the message may come off as a bit strong, it does make sense. Smaller OEMs around the world can offer extremely budget-friendly hardware in areas where most people can afford a Samsung or Apple-made device. Now, another recent win for Cyanogen is that they created a new hardware partnership with Qualcomm. The partnership with Qualcomm means that future Snapdragon-powered Qualcomm reference devices, or QRDs, will ship to manufacturers running Cyanogen's operating system. This deal covers the Snapdragon 200, 400, and 6 series QRDs, which allow manufacturers to quickly develop their own hardware or just place their own branding on the QRD and then ship it to the consumer. You see, if Cyanogen can continue to forge these hardware partnerships, this is one of the best indications of Cyanogen's future success. You see, Cyanogen has to create their own app store, their own version of Gmail, their own version of Google Now, for example, to be successful. And to do that, they need a lot of users. And to get a lot of users, they're going to need hardware partnerships. And who is in a better position to do that than the Chinese manufacturers? There's one caveat, one worry that I have, and that's that Cyanogen will have to get into bed with the Chinese government. Why? Well, they're going to have to create these partnerships with Xiaomi, OnePlus One, all these companies that are, Chinese-sponsored companies. And China has had a tumultuous relationship with Google in the past. Google refused to get into that relationship with the Chinese government. Cyanogen might have to make that work. We'll have to wait and see. I wonder how many of you are like me. You work with your colleagues online, collaboratively, And if you've done so, you know that doing that job through email can be painful. That's where a tool like HipChat saves you a lot of frustration. HipChat is an instant messaging, video chat, document sharing, screen sharing, system updates, code sharing, integrated into one simple platform. And the best part is that HipChat integrates with top developer tools like GitHub, Jira, Zendesk, and more. Check out the 57 services that HipChat plays nice with. Get your team on the same page in seconds. I want you to try HipChat free, no credit card required, by visiting hipchat.com/Android Authority. Click on Start Chatting, and then invite a few team members and try it free for 30 days. Remember, that's HipChat.